of St. John Vianney. A man with vision overcomes obstacles and performs deeds that seem impossible. John Vianney was a man with vision. He wanted to become a priest, but he had to overcome his meager formal schooling, which inadequately prepared him for his seminary studies. His failure to comprehend Latin lectures forced him to discontinue, but his vision of being a priest urged him to seek private tutoring, and after a lengthy battle with books, John was ordained. Situations calling for impossible deeds followed him everywhere. A pastor of the parish at Ars, John encountered people who were indifferent and quite comfortable with their own style of living. His vision led him through severe fasting and short nights of sleep. With friends, he established La Providence, a home for girls. Only a man of vision could have such trust that God would provide for the spiritual and material needs of all those who came to make La Providence their home. His work as a confessor is John Vianney's most remarkable accomplishment. In the winter months, he would spend 11 to 12 hours daily in the confessional. In the summer months, this time was increased to 16 hours. Unless a man was dedicated to his vision of a priestly vocation, he could not have endured this giving of himself day after day. Many people look forward to retirement and taking it easy, doing the things they've always wanted to do but never had time. John Vianney had no thoughts of retirement. As his fame spread, more hours were consumed in serving God's people. Even the few hours he would allow himself for sleep were disturbed frequently by the temptations of the devil. Who but a man with vision could keep going with ever-increasing strength? In 2009, Pope Benedict XVI named John Vianney the patron of all priests worldwide. Indifference towards religion, coupled with the love for material comfort, seems to be common signs of our times. A person from another planet observing us would not likely judge us to be pilgrim people on our way to something better. But John Vianney, on the other hand, was a man on a journey with his goal before him at all times. Recommending liturgical prayer, John Vianney would say, "Private prayer is like straw scattered here and there. If you set it on fire, it makes a lot of little flames. But gather these straws into a bundle and light them, and you get a mighty fire, rising like a column into the sky. Public prayer, the prayer of the church, is like that." When we have our clergy gatherings from time to time, of course, we always have a picture of St. John Vianney there in the chapel that we kind of create for ourselves, and there are always some prayers through the intercession, offered through the intercession of St. John Vianney. But I'll tell you, sometimes we look at each other, brother priests, and say, who's going to spend 12 hours in the confessional? Who can even afford to spend 5 hours in the confessional a day? We know that parish ministry is much different for St. John Vianney in the mid-19th century than it is for us today. Yet, John Vianney focused and excelled at really what priests are called to do, to reconcile, to be reconcilers of God's people, whether that's through the sacrament of reconciliation or the Eucharist or any of the sacraments of our church. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could focus more time on those essential things in our ministry? So today, through the intercession of Vianney, we pray for an increase of vocations to the priesthood, especially in our own diocese, and for the well-being of all of our clergy.